This is my 1990 Honda Recon, and I've never showed any service on this, even though I've done it religiously, and I thought it was time to do that. So let's change the oil in this. Right here is the oil plug for this machine, 17 millimeter. I've already warmed the machine up. Just so I don't, as I so often do, drop my wrench into the oil. That's always fun. It's a nice time. You can't have more fun in a day cleaning that up. I never tighten those up too tight, and I'll show you why in a few minutes. Now we have two Honda Recons, and according to the Honda dealer, this 1990 takes SAE 40 SI, and it's Honda GN4, and I think this takes 1.4 quarts. So we'll put one in and then recheck the manual. All right, this is the second quart, and I just checked it. It doesn't need much more. They say 1.7 quarts, the dealer did, but I'm thinking it's probably like about 1.3 or 4 is my guess. So we'll let that drain in, and then we'll check it again. Now this GN4 oil, you have to buy this Honda oil because inside the motor here, there's the clutch system. You know, when you put it in gear, you don't have a clutch up on the bar to like a motorcycle does. So this Honda has a clutch system in here. And this special GN4 oil is also used by the clutch to lubricate it as well. And it's a special oil that you need to use. This GN4 is absolutely essential for this machine. Now in the back, in the rear differential, there is another kind of oil that you use, and it's a Honda oil. I don't have any of that right now, but I am going to check mine and see how it's doing, and if I need to, I will go get some. On this check plug here, this has a little tiny O-ring on it. I would make sure that that's always clean and looks good, and it isn't frayed. And I run this all the way in to check it. I know some people just stick it in there, but sometimes you can get it a little full if you do that. And that is right on full. So I'm going to say it's 1.4 quarts. And I will have to mark this for the 1990 Honda Recon, because we also have a 2008 Honda Recon, and it takes 1030. Let's go check the rear end. All right, now the fill port on mine is here. The check port, this little guy right here, and we're going to check that and see what's in it. And I could take this off, but I'm not going to do that for the check purposes. Whatever runs out will carry any debris with it. So, all right, this little check plug is 10 millimeter. I'm just going to pop it and kind of see what's in it. Last time it was full, I know, so we'll see what we got this time. Usually I can pull this out and I can see if there's any oil coming, and it's full. All right, now we got this done, and I checked it and it's full. So we're going to tighten this back up, and we don't have to do anything with this. The oil looks great, and everything is done on this machine. All right, wipe this off good. And then, of course, as you go through and you run the machine for a while, you come back and check it. And you look at it and you make sure nothing's leaking. And I don't see anything leaking. I don't see any problems here. So, all right, let's bring the other machine in and do it. All right, this is 2008 Honda Recon. It's a 250 also. One thing I've already done here is I couldn't see the brake fluid in the little sight glass here. And that's because it's just up to the top of it. So it's okay, so I'm going to put this back on right now. There's two pieces to it. There's a little float, and that goes in here like this. And this cap goes back on. Oh, and by the way, I checked this on my other machine, and it was fine. They're little tiny Phillips head screws that hold this on, and there's a gasket in there to keep the pressure from coming out. So you tighten them up until they're snug, and then give them a little bit. Just like that. All right, that's done. All right, let's change the oil in this. Now, there's an interesting story behind this machine. When we got ready to buy it, I was looking at it, and I noticed that it had some kind of a oil plug in it with a rubber seat on it. And I was questioning the person that I bought it from. I said, why is this in here? And they said that they lost the original oil plug. And I said, well, why didn't you get a new one and put it in? And through talking for a little while, they finally admitted that the case was cracked underneath and that the original oil plug would no longer keep the oil in. It would leak. So he had tried this expanded rubber kind of plug thing, and it was still leaking. So if you remember my video, and if you haven't, go watch it, of my basement leak. What I did there was my wood stove lines came into the house, and at that point I had a leak, and they had used basically hydraulic cement, and they enclosed that with hydraulic cement when they put that in, and it started leaking there. So I dug it out, and I put what I called marine goop on that. I cleaned all around those lines, and I put marine goop on it. It's a product called Goop, and it's the marine style goop. And I said in that video that I had used this in previous occasions and that it worked fantastic, and I was sure that this would cure the problem. And the reason why I said that is because this is one of the applications I used it on. I'll show you. Now, I don't know how well you can see this, but this plug, what I did was I bought a brand new Honda plug for this, and I ran it in hand tight, and I just turned it a little bit to make sure it was snug. But the case was cracked this way and a little bit this way. So what I did was I applied that marine goop in 3 separate occasions, and I had the bike upside down when I did that. And I completely sealed that all the way around, that plug and all the gaps. And as you can see, it's dry. And that was between 5 and 6 years ago. This has never leaked a drop of oil. But unfortunately, I can't change the oil through this plug. So I'll show you how I do it. Because I can't take the plug out of this and drop the oil as you would conventionally, I have this little siphon pump, and I pump the oil out of the crankcase. You can see it coming up there, and you can see it coming out down in the pan. You can't see it from where you're at, but trust me, it's coming out. But I don't know what else to do with this. I mean, I could probably take it someplace, and it would cost me a whole truckload of money to get the engine actually aluminum welded, which I can't do here. I do what I have to do with it, and then I pump it like that for a little while, and then I pull it out, and I drop the rest of it in here. And you just have to repeat the cycle and the process for a while, and you'll eventually get all the oil out of it. It's not as easy as the plug, but it works. As you can see there, it's not a real fast pump, but it does pump it out. Pull this out and drain it. And you know when you got it all because it'll start sucking air. If you plug the little hole at the top of the siphon pump, it'll vacuum it up into this ball. All right, I'm going to pull this out now. It looks like I'm pretty close on size. I know I've got over a quart in my pan, so it's a little sloppy and it's a little messy, but it gets it done. And then, of course, I have to clean everything up when I'm done. Just getting a little tiny bit out now. That's empty. Now I'll clean up all the mess I've made here, and we'll fill her up with good oil. All right, this is the oil that this machine takes. It's the same GN4 oil, but it's a 10 weight 30. So I'm going to stick a cord in it, and then we'll recheck it. Now, I didn't like the way the oil looked when it came out. It was a little thin, and a little watery. So I will get another quart of this and I'll change it again in a couple weeks and I'll see if it's doing the same thing. And that is exactly where it is. It's right here. So I got all the oil out at least. I will monitor this for a while. Now I gotta put a little bit more in out of that other quart and we'll see what we got. Probably right there. Let's check that out and see. Right on full. Okay. Okay, right here is the check plug, 10 millimeter. Now just the way I did in the last one, I'm going to run this out almost all the way, and then I'm going to wiggle it and see what we got. Yep, it's full right to the top. You can see right up in here the oil coming out around it. So we're good here too. The oil looks good too. It's supposed to be, I think, like 9 foot-pounds or something, but you know what? It's tight enough. Everything on this is done. All right, that concludes the service on these Honda Recons. So I hope you enjoyed that. Like I say, I'm going to watch this oil in this machine like a hawk because I didn't really like the way it looked. I'm going to look at it in about a week, siphon a little bit out, and we'll run it for a week or two, and then if it starts to look again like that, I'll just change it out and keep changing it out till it quits doing that. The machine runs fine. We've never had a lick of trouble with it. So anyway, that's it for the Hondas. The 250s are all ready to go for the summer. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next video. Have a great day.